drama tonight in Dalton after Mayor Tiffany Henyard clashes with village trustees over a postponed meeting.
Henyard's attorney claims trustees did not cancel the meeting with enough notice and says the show must go on.
Appointed by Tiffany Henyard as police chief, trustees say it's an illegal appointment. Lacey was arraigned on federal bankruptcy fraud charges Thursday afternoon. It's alleged that he lied under oath in a scheme to hide assets and income from creditors.
It seems like things just won't calm down around Tiffany Henyard, and she's only making matters worse for herself. From alleged criminal activities to misusing citizens' money, the village of Dalton is in for a wild ride with this mayor. Henyard is the kind of public figure who makes you question how humanity has come this far. While she may not be the most corrupt person on earth, she remains in a position of power, surrounded by controversy and drowning in allegations. Despite facing legal scrutiny from all sides, she is desperately clinging to her role as mayor, determined not only to avoid accountability but also to maintain her grip on power. One would think that being under legal investigation would make her more cautious. But it appears nothing can stop her. Even during a meeting with Dalton trustees, the chaos continue.
Not only does Henyard still intend to convene tonight's meeting, she also plans to make a series of new village appointments. In about 90 minutes, we'll see how things shake out, because at least 3 village trustees say they will not be coming. Yesterday, the publicist for the village trustees announced tonight's regular board had been rescheduled for Thursday, September 12th, adding they are working to address several urgent matters, including finalizing a budget, establishing a new village bank account, and securing a new auditor.
To be struggling to find a valid defense for her, though at least his efforts aren't adding to the public's frustration. However, his arguments appear to have little impact on the people of Dalton, who continue to see Tiffany as an immature, power-hungry, and corrupt politician, ironically, the very image he's trying to change. We'll have to wait and see how things unfold, but either way, the outlook for Tiffany isn't promising.
Yesterday, the publicist for the village trustees announced tonight's regular board had been rescheduled for Thursday, September 12th, adding they are working to address several urgent matters, including finalizing a budget, establishing a new village bank account, and securing a new auditor. Henyard's attorney, Bo Brindley, who is a criminal defense lawyer, says the board did not announce the postponement with proper notice.
The mayor was given no notice by the board that they were going to cancel or postpone or do anything with this meeting. Under Illinois statute, they have to give 10 days notice. They have to post 10 days notice to change the date or cancel a meeting. And they didn't do it. They did this in violation of state statute. They tried to circumvent the regular process and interfere with the mayor's ability to conduct her job as mayor.
Her controversial decisions don't end there. She hired a new top administrator without approval, and if that wasn't enough, the person she appointed is a known former criminal and accused sexual harasser.
My next appointment will be for village administrator.
Last night, Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard appointed a new top aide to a $100,000 a year job without board consent. 34-year-old Michael A. Smith, who's been active in South suburban politics for years.
The reason for Mike is he has a wealth of great information. He's a young person, ex-politician. He knows the laws like the back of his hand.
Perhaps that's because Smith has been in and out of trouble with the law for years. Public reporting shows Smith has been charged at least 8 times with crimes ranging from domestic battery to official misconduct. In 2012, Smith, then a young trustee in Dixmoor, resigned after pleading guilty to theft when he allegedly stole gasoline by posing as a police officer. Then in 2018, Smith was working as an assistant dean at Thornton Fractional High School when he was fired for sexual harassment of a female student, grooming a student with lascivious intent, and inappropriate aggressive behavior towards a male student.
The chaos surrounding her isn't settling down anytime soon. The citizens are outraged over their new aide and are doing everything they can to remove the mayor from office. But instead of stepping back, She remains firmly in power, with no intention of leaving, and has now appointed yet another criminal to her administration. At this rate, it seems like Dalton's leadership will be entirely made up of criminals and corrupt politicians.
We have a constant pattern of her hiring people without doing a proper background check and presenting it to the board. And that's our issue. That could pose a great danger to our community.
Dalton trustees Brittany Norwood and Tammy Brown
It's alarming.
were not at last night's meeting when Smith was appointed. The 4 Dalton trustees opposed to Henyard postponed the meeting and say none of the action taken was legal.
It's very interesting, considering the fact that she didn't have a quorum. So I don't understand how someone could be appointed.
Smith is replacing Henyard's previous hand-picked village administrator, Keith Freeman, who fell out of favor after he was charged with bankruptcy fraud and is now believed to be cooperating with an FBI investigation into Henyard. But Freeman is apparently still on the village payroll and filling the job. So can you have a second village administrator?
No. We don't have the finances for that. As you all know, we are definitely in a financial bind, and we cannot afford 2 village administrators.
There seems to be a clear reason behind her decision to hire certain individuals. A township board trustee turned whistleblower has come forward, revealing everything she knows about the mayor's actions.
WGN Investigates has learned South suburban politician Tiffany Henyard has lost another key ally. Until recently, Henyard enjoyed near unanimous support on the Thornton Township Board, but now trustee Carmen Carlisle says after trusting Henyard and remaining silent, she will be a whistleblower against Henyard.
One of the biggest concerns surrounding Tiffany is her reckless spending of taxpayer money. Reports show that she has spent thousands on luxury trips and even an unapproved ice rink, all funded by the people of Dalton. Residents have had enough of watching their supposed leader squander public funds on herself while they struggle to meet their tax obligations. Unfortunately, a town meeting ordinance aimed at capping credit card spending failed to pass, meaning she remains free to misuse taxpayer money. To make matters worse, she also rehired L.S. Lacey, Dalton's former police chief, who was previously fired for corruption, including bankruptcy fraud and perjury.
One of the ordinances proposed at the special meeting would have put a cap on credit card spending with purchases approved by the finance director, but that ordinance did not pass.
Coming in, unfortunately, we knew it was going to be a little messy, but it's just something we felt important that had to be done, that should be done. So, but like I said, just some accountability, some transparency. And once again, as you can see, there's a lot of rhetoric and there's a lot of going back and forth, but how many true answers did we get?
Also happening in Dalton, Deputy Police Chief Louis Lacey, fired for insubordination last week by the Dalton Village Board, is back. Appointed by Tiffany Henyard as police chief. Trustees say it's an illegal appointment. Lacey was arraigned on federal bankruptcy fraud charges Thursday afternoon. It's alleged that he lied under oath in a scheme to hide assets and income from creditors.
Well, Mr. Lacey is absolutely not guilty of all 9 counts. I think the government likes to bring as many counts as possible, just so the media will say that he has been charged with 9 counts.
As if things weren't already spiraling out of control, the comptroller has now frozen payments to the village due to past due audits. On one hand, this might seem like a major setback, but realistically, it's not as if that money would have gone toward the well-being of Dalton's citizens. Given Tiffany's track record, she likely would have just spent it on herself.
Today, the state's chief financial officer makes it clear to Dalton officials.
Until I see those reports properly filed the way the law says they have to be, and until we see them show accountability for how they're spending taxpayer money, they will not see another penny of those offsets.
Illinois Comptroller Susanna Mint.
With Tiffany under fire, many are left questioning her connections, and rightfully so. Given the growing number of corrupt individuals in positions of power over Dalton, it's hard not to wonder if this is all part of a larger scheme. In a world that's been filled with unexpected and shocking news, especially lately, one key figure has now weighed in, the very person who first nominated Tiffany for her position as Thornton Township Supervisor. The big question remains, what led him to make that decision in the first place?
Just as a whole, I just felt that I was hoping we could get somebody that was a little bit younger for the role. I felt it was time that we possibly, and I wasn't honed in on that, but that, a woman, I just thought that would be somebody, that was a little bit younger, woman. So that's kind of where I was. I'll be honest, I really didn't know at that time a whole lot of that there was already some controversy and things like that, a little bit that was going on in Dalton, say. So I didn't really know about that. And then it was also something that, obviously there, just on the surface, there was a little bit of experience there. She'd been a trustee, just became mayor. Kind of a town that you might have had as a base as far as just like, once again, coming from that there might be some experience and things like that there. She went straight to Frank's office and, sat in the chair.
There may not have been any malicious intent at the start, but things certainly aren't unfolding as planned. And it's not just the citizens suffering under what many call the most corrupt mayor in the world. A firefighter has come forward, accusing Tiffany Henyard of mishandling retirement funds. If these allegations are true, and they likely are, this isn't just a one-time incident. It's a betrayal of all the retirees who dedicated their lives to serving the village, only to have their hard-earned money taken away so Tiffany could fund yet another luxury vacation.
The ongoing saga in Dalton now spilling over into the fire department.
When the mayor first started to run in 2021, we did endorse her, and then everything went sideways.
Adam Farrick has been a firefighter in the village for 10 years. He's also union rep for Local 3766.
We have a ton of concerns.
Most revolve around financial issues. These are some of the grievances the union has filed against the village. Farrick claims many of the village's 21 firefighters don't want to speak out for fear of retaliation.
And there's always that scare of retaliation of what's going to happen if we don't beat to their drum.
Farrick claims money taken out of their checks for a retirement plan not going where it should.
I pick the amount that I would like was taken out of my check, and then that money is supposed to go to Nationwide. It has not been happening.
He also claims firefighters are having issues with health insurance, which the village pays for. These are some of the documents shared with NBC5 that say premiums have not been received.
Members are getting claims denied, and we did file agreements over that.
Public outrage has reached its peak, yet there are no signs of things slowing down. Her actions are being exposed all over social media, with the world watching closely. At this point, it's hard to find anyone who believes she's innocent, yet she remains the mayor of Dalton, still holding power over the village and its finances, and continuing to exploit that authority. The frustration has grown so intense that many Dalton citizens can't even stand being in the same room with her during meetings anymore.
Okay, Mike, 1 second. Go to the mic. I'm sorry. All right, go ahead.
It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man suffered, or whether doer of the deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives diligently, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotion.
The end is clearly in sight, though it's not here just yet. Once she gets arrested, there's no way she'll be re-elected as mayor. But Tiffany isn't going down without a fight. She's already strategizing to secure re-election by appealing to older voters as her base.